Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second session of Meditation for Carers. Today, we're going to do a guided body scan meditation. And for this practice, we generally do it laying down, but if you've got some problem with doing that, you can do it sat up in a chair or reclined in a chair, whatever works for you. And what we do, we just start by feeling ourselves supported by the ground underneath us, whether we're sitting or laying down. We can just feel the points where our body and our back meets with the surface underneath us and supports us. And we can just rest and allow ourselves to be supported. And then before we begin, we can just take 3 deep breaths in, filling our belly with air. Just breathing in slowly and deeply, right down to the base of the belly. And then letting that go. And again, filling the belly with air, allowing your body to be oxygenated. And let go. And the last one, we just fill the body with air. And let go. Now, this body scan practice, I'm just going to direct your attention to different parts of your body, just to check in with how you're feeling. And you should find that as you check in with different parts of your body, that it allows them to relax a little. And what we're doing here is using our sense of feeling to see how parts of our body feel. Sometimes when people hear to bring their attention to a part of the body instead of feeling into it, we can end up visualizing it. That's not what we're trying to do. You can visualize it too, but really we are reaching out with our felt awareness to check in with our body and how it's feeling. When situations are intense and ongoing stress for a while, we can build up a lot of tension, hold a lot of tension in the body. And this is just a way of releasing some of that. So what we do, we start with bringing our awareness to our big toes. We just feel into our big toes. How do they feel? I'm often surprised that I can even hold tension in my big toes. They feel tight or loose, solid, somewhat more lax and open. Just feel around that area with your awareness. And if during this part of bringing your awareness to your toes, you feel a need to move or wiggle them, then feel free to do that. And we move our attention to our second toes. See how those feel. Again, our middle toes. our second toes, then our little toes. Now we move our attention to the balls of our foot, which is the area just behind our toes. Just see how that feels. Do you feel, does it feel tight there, tense? Does it feel fairly loose and relaxed? And then we move to the soles of our foot. Soles of our foot are a much softer and fleshier area. Can you feel a contrast between that and the ball of your foot? And we bring our awareness to our heels. And up to our ankles. We can try and just let go at our ankles and let our feet fall out and hang loose. If you spend a lot of time, a lot of the day on your feet, you may find that the ankles get quite tense and tight. We can just let that fall away to some degree. Now place your attention on your calves, long muscle at the back of the lower leg. How does that feel? And during this guided practice, just breathe naturally and just check in with your breathing now and again, just to see that your breathing is just relaxed. And bring your awareness to the front of your lower leg. Check in with that area, see how it feels. And then we move our attention up to our knees, back and front of our knees, just all around that area, where the lower leg meets the thigh. And move your awareness up to the front of your thighs. The thighs are a big area of muscle. You can get quite tight and tense. And we just let our awareness feel into our thigh muscle, both at the front of our thigh and then at the back. That long area of muscle going down the backs of the thigh. Then we can bring our attention to our buttocks. And whatever you tend to do in the day, whether it's lots of walking, sitting, driving, being seated at a desk, you can find our buttocks carry quite a lot of tension as the meeting point of our legs and our torso. We can let our awareness feel into that area. See if we can just release some of the tension that's there. Moving around, we can feel into our pelvis. And again, at the tops of our legs is the meeting point between the legs and the lower torso. And we can see how that feels. See if we can just release some of any tension that was storing in that part of our body. And bring your awareness up to your belly. When I'm feeling anxious, I know that I tend to suck my stomach in and just hold tension there. And that can stop me from breathing deeply. So I find it's useful for me to check in with that area and just see that I'm not holding myself in and maintaining tension. And we can bring our awareness around to our lower back. Then move on up to the upper back. And then round to the front of our chest. Chest and upper back feeling tight or loose. Can you just take a deep breath or two into your belly and then right up to the top of your chest? Just allowing that whole area to expand out. And then let go. And bring your attention to the area between your neck and shoulders. Another thing we can often do when we're feeling stressed is to bring our shoulders in rather than letting them loose. It can be good to check in with that area just to see that we're not holding more tension than we need to. Then we move out to our shoulders and check in there. See if our shoulders are feeling tight or loose, relaxed or solid. And then down our upper arms to our biceps. and our elbows, front and back of our elbows. And our lower arms. When you feel into our wrists, and the palms of our hands. As with the toes, we're going to go through each of the thumb and fingers. You just feel into those parts of our body. And also the same as with your toes. If you feel a need to move or wiggle your fingers and thumb, then just do that. So we begin by becoming aware of our thumbs, our index fingers, middle fingers, ring fingers, and little fingers. Then we can become aware of our hands all at once. And as with the ankles, we can just let our wrists go soft and just let our hands hang by our sides. Now we move our awareness up to our neck. Our necks do a lot of work holding our skull and our head up. Just sense around the area of your neck, see how it's feeling. Then bring your attention to the base of your skull, where the head meets the neck. Then the back of your head. Sides of your head around by your ears. Just check in with your breathing to see that you're just breathing in a relaxed way. And bring your awareness to your jawline, all the way from your chin and then around both sides up to your ears. And we feel into our cheekbones. Around our eyes. Then our foreheads. the crowns of our head. And what we do now is we just imagine the crown of our head opening up a little. And with the next breath we take in, we just imagine being able to take air through the crown of our head. And when we breathe in, we bring that air right from the crown of our head through our entire body down to our feet. And on the breath out, we imagine that breath coming back up our body and bringing any tension with it, and breathing that out through the top of our head. And we can do that a few more times. Breathing in through the top of our head, right down through our entire body, down to the fingertips, down to the toes. And breathe it out, back up through your body, taking any tension with it out through the top of your head. And the last time, we just breathe in through the crown of our head, bringing the air right down through all of our body. Then coming back up and out through the top of our head, taking any tension with it. And you can just sit or lay as you are for a few moments and see if your body feels different than when you started the meditation. Does it feel slightly looser, lighter? I hope so. This is a good practice you can do yourself if you're struggling to fall asleep. Often at night we can have lots of thoughts going around in our head. And there are meditations that can deal with those thoughts. But also, if we progressively relax our body in this way, we often find that the thoughts lessen as well. The mind has an effect on the body, whereby when we're stressed and worried, the body gets more tense. But the same is true the other way round. When the body's tense, it can lead to more thoughts and more being caught up in our own worries. So now we come to the end of today's practice. And you may want to just wiggle your fingers and toes a bit. And then gently open your eyes and come back to where you are.